Hello everyone. So we're going to start today's video leaving the campground, because I noticed last night while I was kind of going through some stuff that I lost all my audio from yesterday. So I'll show you a little bit of the road in here while I'm talking. And then after I'm done with that, then I'll show you the reason I came to this campground. There were some hot springs just right down there by the river. I don't know if you couldn't really see the river when I was coming, but it's just right down there in the valley, and it was beautiful ride. Lots of cool corners, really neat canyons. And yeah, I'd never been on this road before, so this was kind of a new experience. You guys got to experience it with me. So what we're going to do now is just head on up the canyon a little ways farther to a town called Stanley, which if you've watched some of my videos, I've been there before. We'll get some breakfast there, and then we're going to make our way home. We're still on our way home from the Northwest tour, so you know, we're just kind of meandering our way home and enjoying some of the stuff that Idaho has to offer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of ride along and do a little commentary as we go. But right now I will cut to the scenes of when I was at the hot springs yesterday after I got here. So we'll see you guys here in a little bit. Well folks, we're on our way to the hot springs. It's about, I'm guessing, 200-foot drop down here. This trail's not real bad though. And as soon as I get out of these bushes here, I'll show you the river here as we're getting closer to it. And you know, the hot springs are actually just above the river, I think. So might be some other folks down here, so I might not be able to film, but I'll try to get a picture without anybody in it, without bothering anybody, if that's the way it is down there. But anyway, here's the river. So just to our right here is where the hot springs are. So when I get down there, I'll see if I can film anything. So this is this trip to the hot springs just kind of turned into kind of a nice little walk along the river. Hasn't been too long, maybe 10 minutes since I left camp. So man, this is really pretty down here though. I just remembered that I had forgot my headlamp, so probably won't be able to stay down here till after dark. I do have about 10% on my phone, so I could use that for a flashlight too. But anyway, we got some more folks coming, so I'll talk to you in a minute once we get to the hot springs. So this is the first hot pool I found. This cool little waterfall coming in. It's almost too hot for today though. I mean, it's like 90 degrees now. I'm guessing this water is probably 100 and something. But, I mean, the waterfall is cool. Let's check this out, though. Look where I'm sitting. Up above the river. Here, let me back up here a little bit. That way you can see how the hot pool is laid out here. Look at that. Just got a little dam right here. There's the hot pool. There's a view of the river and the canyon below. This is freaking neat, man. I'll probably end up going down below here in a little bit after I sit here for a couple of minutes and then check out the ones that mix with the river down below. Anyway, very cool, very cool. Neat place to find. Well, folks, I went and looked at the other hot springs. There's one that like has a waterfall that comes down like a shower into it. but there was a whole family of people there, and it looked like they were going to be there a while, so I didn't want to bother them. They looked like they were having a good time, good family time, so we just left them alone. But so I found this cool little sandy beach here right on the river, soaking my feet in the water, just cooling off and enjoying the view. Well, guess I'll head back to camp. It's getting starting to get kind of late. Sun's still up for a while, but it'd be good to get some dinner in me and just kind of kick back and relax around camp. So we'll see you back there. Welcome back, folks. Well, we're just kicking back here, enjoying a nice meal. Or just got done enjoying a nice meal, kicking back, enjoying the scenery after soaking in the hot springs for a while, and checking out the river and seeing the fish jump, and just living it. This is awesome. So tomorrow the plan is just to load the bike up in the morning and make our way back to home through Stanley. Really good views down through here. This is, like I said, this is a new section of road here. Haven't rode this before. And then we'll get into some stuff we rode before. So, but it's all beautiful and it's all good. Man, it's nice to be out in nature and just enjoying it. Well, you guys take care, and we'll see you in the morning. Bye. Well, I think we made it to the town of Loman. So this is, yep, it says Loman School right there. It's a big one. Anyway, this is where we make our turn to Stanley. Looks like it's 57 miles. There's a restaurant here and a little store, gas pumps. It looks like we've got road work for the next 11 miles, so might not be too exciting from here on out. So I'll probably turn you guys off here and catch up with you on the other side of Stanley, or maybe when I'm pulling in when I'm gonna get breakfast today. So we'll check back with you here in just a little while. Cool. Waterfalls and all that good stuff down there. There's hot pools. I don't know if the GoPro's picking them up or not, but These little hot pools down at the bottom of all those waterfalls. Have to check that place out one of these days. That'll be for another video. Well, we're just pulling out of Stanley, Idaho here, and I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, I think only 591 people are actually residents of this place. But in the summertime, there are thousands of stinking people here. I mean, you can see why. There's the hot springs all close by. You got the Sawtooth Mountains and fishing and whitewater rafting. That's what this place is here. I mean, you name it, this place has got it. But in the wintertime, there's been times when this town's been cut off for weeks because of avalanches and landslides. So, you know, to be a resident here, you got to be tough. Not only you got to deal with the thousands of tourists that actually pay your bills, but you got to deal with some gnarly winters and possible isolation for weeks on end. So we're just gonna cruise on down the road here, and as we go, I'll point out some hot springs and other things. So you guys just enjoy the ride, and we'll talk to you here in a little bit. This is what they call Lower Stanley here. I don't know if it's part of the same population or not. You know, there's only a few houses in this little area. There's a couple restaurants, a couple little motels and cabins. Old Bronco, that's cool. Anyway, yeah, it's only a mile out of town maybe. But another cool little town here. Hopefully, if nobody's there, I'm going to show you a hot springs down here called Boat Box. I think it used to actually be an old boat that somebody had piped the hot springs into, but now it's like a big metal cauldron looking thing. And if nobody's there, we'll stop real quick and take a look at it. I've never actually pulled over to look at it. There's always been people there, but maybe we'll get lucky today and there'll be nobody there. I don't know if you can see in the mirror though, but there's the Sawtooth Mountains behind us. They look pretty cool. I think it's right here, so We'll have to see if anybody's in the parking area. Looks like it's empty, and there it is right there. So we'll take a quick walk back and look at that. There it is, Boat Box Hot Springs. So I think what you do is you take that pipe and put it in the thing to warm the water up. Like I said, you know, the one time that stuff's steaming, so you might have to get water out of the river to cool it down too. But the one time that I don't have time to stop and soak in it, nobody's here. Whenever I do have time, there's always somebody here. So anyway, so that's Boat Box Hot Springs. We'll continue on down the river here, and I'll show you a couple more on our way down. As you can see, you know, not more than a couple people can fit in there. That's why whenever there's a car parked there, you know that you're not getting in it. So a few more miles down the river, there's a few more. So I don't know if I'll pull over and show you, but kind of point out where they are. There are a lot of campgrounds down through here, and they kind of charge a premium for these because they all are always so busy. I think it's like 18 bucks a night for a Forest Service campground, just with pit toilets and your basic water. But this area is always so busy with people, they kind of charge more because a lot of the people that come to this area don't really respect the wilderness as much as they should. They kind of trash the place, to be honest with you, and they're always having to pick up after them, so they do charge a little bit more for the campgrounds around here. But my wife and I came camping up here before Memorial Day, and there was like nobody here. But you know, it's kind of a crapshoot with the weather at that time of year. You can have snow, which we had. It's cold, but one thing you don't have to deal with is a whole bunch of people. So I mean, there was we went over and sat on Redfish Lake, which right now I'll guarantee is an absolute zoo. And today's date is July 12th, maybe, somewhere around there. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. But it's crazy. There's tons of boats, tons of people. And when my wife and I went over, we sat on the beach and had like 5 people walk by, and that was it. I mean, it was almost having a lake to yourself. Hardly anybody there. And it wasn't too cold. But that's what you got to do if you want to have a little bit of peace and solitude. So I think we're coming up on our next hot springs here. Yep, this is the spot. I can't remember what they call this one. Nobody's here today either. Man, this is crazy. Even when we were here in back before Memorial Day, every one of these places had people at it. And we were here during the middle of the week, just like it is right now. But, you know, right now, the weather's beautiful, and there's nobody here. And this one you could actually camp at. You see there's a couple camp spots down there. They're kind of overgrown and stuff. They don't really take care of this place too awful much. But right down there in the bend of the river, there's some hot springs, and they make pools in the river. So, like I said, I can't remember what the name of this one is. Oh, there it is on the sign. Cove Hot Springs. So we will move on down the road and see if we can get to our next one. This sure is a fun road to ride. It's just so beautiful up here with all the trees and parallel in the river. It's similar to Lolo, but not quite as desolate. There's more towns closer together, and the road. It can get busy. It can get really busy up here, but Lolo was fairly busy, which kind of surprised me. And there was a ton of motorcycles riding Lolo too. And this one isn't quite as long, not quite as scenic, but almost. But there are some other cool spots here, though, like I say, with the hot springs and the Sawtooth Mountains and Redfish Lake and everything. So this will take you to some picturesque places, even though the road isn't quite as scenic. And they don't have any guardrails to obstruct your view in a lot of places, so you can get right up on the edge and really look over and see what the river looks like, in case you're a fisherman. I think I'm going to call this the Hot Springs Highway. If you guys are fly fishermen, you'll know kind of what I'm talking about. They have a Highway 20 that runs from West Yellowstone down to Sun Valley, is what they call the Fly Highway, because there's just so many good fly fishing spots all along there. So here's another hot spring, Sunbeam. This one looks a little busier than the others. You can see there's a guy fishing there or something. Oh, he's got like a cane pole and a whole bunch of people. And at this building here, I don't know if it's this building in particular, but it had a hot spring pool. This place was commercial at one time, and it actually started, the guy that started this hot spring business here was actually using it to raise his chickens for the mines up the canyon here. My wife and I came here this last summer and hit the hot springs. The river was flowing so hard that you really couldn't get in them. Because the water was so high. But it was fun. We got in them a little bit. It was cool. And then there's these two bathtubs down here, similar to Boat Box, where you could soak in there. You do have to kind of watch out when you come up here, though, because a lot of these places are clothing optional, including these two bathtubs right here. When we came by, there was two naked guys frickin' floating or soaking in each one of those things. So, don't be surprised if you come across some people at these hot springs that don't have clothes on, because that seems to be a pretty common occurrence, I've noticed. Well, let's get back on the bike and go down to our next one. You know what? I don't know if we have any more hot springs actually on the road here, but I will show you another little point of interest down the road here. So just about a mile down from the Sunbeam Hot Springs there, where the guy had his chickens that he used to feed the miners, is what they call Yankee Fork, which is a little tributary, and you can see it right there. That's the Sunbeam Dam. So they built that to generate electricity for this mine that was up this canyon here to the left, where the Yankee Fork River, I guess, or creek, I can't, Yankee Fork Salmon River, where that was. And there's a huge gold dredge up there, and I've been there before, and if I can find any pictures of it, I'll throw one in right here just so you can see what it is. But I can't remember what year, but it was in the earlier 1900s that they built that dam to give electricity to all the folks up the canyon there that are working gold mines up that canyon. So it was there for a while, then they dynamited it and opened the river back up again, so there wasn't any dams in the way of the migrating fish and things like that. Because up at the Redfish Lake, the reason it got its name Redfish is because they said back in the day, those are a bunch of rafters. Cool. Because back in the day, they said that there were so many redfish in that lake spawning, they were salmon, that you could walk across the backs of the fish. So, and I'm trying to think, back in the 90s, I believe, they only had one single fish make the spawn all the way back up to the lake. So, kind of sad. Goes from millions of fish down to one. And they named that fish Lonesome Larry because he was the only one that made it back from the ocean that year. So we'll continue on down the road here, and I kind of lied to you. There are more hot springs down along here, but most of them are commercialized. There's one in Chalice down the road, and but it's like got swimming pools and all kinds of stuff. So we're not like your wilderness type hot spring like we've been visiting today. So anyway, I'll probably just kind of ride down the road here and let you guys enjoy some of the scenery, and maybe and then I'll close out before I end up going back out in the desert where it gets boring. That campground right down there in that valley, that's where my wife and I came this summer. Spent 4 days right there. What a nice time just to get away. Well, we're kind of breaking out of the trees and getting into the lowlands with grassy hillsides and things like that. So I'm going to stop the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys enjoyed the glimpses of the hot springs and all the cool things that they have to offer around Stanley. Neat town. There's also a ghost town down here you can visit, and all kinds of stuff around this area. So if you do get a chance, come on up and visit. It's worth it. Even when it's crowded, it's still worth it, because the views are just so cool. So cool, unbelievable up here. And if you hit it in the the right season, early or late, hit the shoulder seasons, the fall and the late spring, you can have an experience to yourself. And actually, you might catch it like today, where I hit two of the hot springs that are always busy, and hardly anybody was there. So it was cool. Well, like I said, I do enjoy you guys coming along and riding along with me today. I'm gonna make my way back home and get ready to go back to work tomorrow. So you guys take care, ride safe, and go out and find those new roads, because there's plenty of gems out there waiting to be discovered. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.